So, a massive partnership was announced this week with Polygon and Nike. What does this mean then for the Polygon price? Is it about to go on an absolute tear? Welcome back to Bearman Crypto, where we talk all things crypto. So, in today's video, I just want to cover off the recent announcement between a partnership between Nike and Polygon, and just a bit about what my thoughts in terms of what that may mean, and the future price, potential price of Polygon. So Polygon is a layer 2 scaling solution on Ethereum. It was on an absolute tear in the last bull run. It started off really low. I think it was 0.002 when I first came across it. It was when it was called Matic Network, and then they went through a series of rebranding earlier part of 2021. Either was it 2020? Yeah, early part of 2021, and after that the price just absolutely just went on an absolute tear, and they've been partnering up with massive names in the game. So they've obviously partnered up with Instagram. I've now brought NFTs onto their platform, and that was in partnership with Polygon. They also partnered up with Adidas, another big name, as well as Prada. There's been so many announcements that they've been making, people that they've been partnering up with. And then now, obviously, they've now recently partnered up with Nike. And just here you can see some of the stats about the Polygon network: 135 million plus unique addresses, 1.8 billion total transactions. At the moment, they've got around 4 billion staked Matic, 145,000 contract creators, as well as you can see here the gas fees. Gas fees on Matic are very low. That's what I tend to use if I need to move anything around. If anything's available on the Polygon network, I tend to use that because that tends to be a lot cheaper. So just on the still on the Polygon website, it's just showing you all the things, all the various dApps. So they've got over 37,000 dApps. That just goes to show the level of people that are building using Polygon. So I think this is definitely one to watch. So just onto the Nike announcement. So this was announced a few days ago. So this is Dot Swoosh. This is on the actual Dot Swoosh website with Nike, which just talks about how it will work. Dot Swoosh is a new community experience designed to give opportunity to co-create the future of Nike. So this is basically Nike coming into the metaverse space and wearables and so forth, because I guess a lot of people have been jumping into the space. Nike had not come out with anything, and then obviously they've dropped this, which is absolutely huge, and I think it's going to leave a lot of other competitors in their wake. I know Adidas were obviously doing something with the metaverse, but I don't think they've really produced anything further since their announcement. So here it just talks about create, collect, trade, and flex. So it's just all the various things that they'll potentially be looking at. So they've got wearables in games and immersive experiences, unlock special access. So what will special access mean? Who knows? Would that mean that they'll potentially start doing airdrops of specific things? Does that give you special access to Nike drops? I would think more than likely so. So I think it's going to be big business. Build with our community. So this I think is going to be massive for Nike. And obviously, if it's running on Polygon, that would be good for Polygon's price potentially. But there was really, what I want to also cover is a tweet that I came across, and I think this tweet really does it just gives a better insight. So the Twitter handle that I found it on was this Secure D. So this is someone that is heavily into has been heavily into sportswear and fashion over a number of years, and I think they've really deciphered what this means really well. So if I just take you through some of the tweet and the thread itself. So it just talks about Nike's approaching 200 million in revenue from Web3 ventures, and today's announcement, just from their perspective, is absolutely massive and will bring them into the sporting goods and fashion industries from a Web3 perspective. So there's a link here to the Dot Swoosh website on this tweet, and basically it just talks about exactly what Nike are trying to do with this. And I hadn't seen this term before. So basically, Dot Swoosh, you'll be able to show off and trade phygital and virtual Nike goods via Polygon. So phygital, I think that is a combination of physical as well as digital. So why is this so cool? So obviously Nike have always been at the front of everything happening from a sports perspective. They've always been a big name in the game. And I think basically what this user goes on to say is, it ushers in, it's going to bring in a lot of people into basically Web3, because the sort of stuff that they'll be doing is limited drops to create customer retention, the ability to flex collection of your sneakers out wherever you are, if that's in the metaverse or in the actual physical world. And they go on to talk about creator royalties. So owning a marketplace means owning royalties. Nike are securing a slice of the $6 billion resale market, previously outside of their grasp. Estimates that the resale market at 30 billion by 2030. Sneakers are a $127 billion industry. So there's a huge amount of money coming into the space, and the introduction of Nike will usher that in a bit more. It talks a bit more about co-creator royalties, how the platform will basically give Nike access to that secondary market that they've potentially been missing out on for a number of years. And it talks about the opportunity that this will create. So in terms of collaborations, so to start doing maybe potentially NFTs, because obviously Nike are big with the drops. I know the Nike airdrops are massive. So imagine these now being dropped as NFTs and what that opportunity looks like, which is exactly the type of space that they'll be going into. And then there's something to talk about a Nike ID, which will be basically the access to a physical, to a phygital platform. So that will be quite interesting how that's going to shape out to look. Because I think, with this, Nike will really create their own metaverse and put a real stamp on it. And then it obviously talks about what this enables Nike to do. So obviously, stuff being on the blockchain, it just gives you that additional authenticity guarantee, because obviously everything is verified on the blockchain. And what they talk about here is maybe in future, maybe Nike could start looking at where to earn. So the next step in the journey will be where to earn wellness applications, make this a brand marketing dream with a massive onboarding via this platform. It's inevitable, apparently, according to this Twitter user, that this will happen at some stage. So I think this person really deciphered what this new partnership will really mean. Again, they talk about access to airdrops. If you've got time, just go on and just have a look at this thread on Twitter. The user name is SecureD, so worthwhile just checking out, because I think what I found was quite insightful from them. But what does that mean then for the Polygon price itself? So just having a look at the price today, where that's sitting. So at the moment, as of today, it's ranked number 10 On CoinGecko, price is sitting at 82 cents. In terms of circulating supply, you got 8.9 billion circulating supply. Total supply, max supply of 10 billion. So obviously that difference in between supply and circulating is what is, I think I read somewhere, what is being held back for rewards. So if you hold any Matic tokens, you can stake them directly on Polygon. So obviously when it comes to staking now, all I do is stake directly on the website of the token. That's where it's most secure, so everything's on chain. Again, anything I talk about is not financial advice. Please do your own further research, of course. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing. So just where the price is at the moment, the price is, it's considerably down from the dizzy heights of when the price was at its peak in the bull run. So obviously it peaked at $2.92 there. At the peak of the last bull run, and obviously has since come down along with the rest of the market. And we can see in terms of the lowest point that it's reached during that period was around 38 cents, which was obviously in the last heavy crash when the whole lunar collapse happened. So it's slightly ahead of that at the moment. Would I be buying this right now? I've bought a little bit, but I'm not really going to start dollar cost averaging in too heavily. What I'm really waiting for is there going to be another opportunity in the next month or so? I'm hoping there will be. My target really to start accumulating heavily is anywhere around 50 cents. And given what's been happening with the market and all the partnerships that Polygon has been building during this period, I think this will be a massive performer in the next bull run. I can definitely easily see this doing at least a 10 to 20x. I would probably say 20x, given the massive partnerships that it's announced. So where would that put the price? That would probably put the price around $16 per Matic, potentially at a 20x. And I think that's definitely achievable given the price. But really, at the moment, I'm DCAing slowly and really looking to really DCA in heavily if we come down anything to around 50 cents. But that's all really I wanted to just cover off. So that huge partnership with Nike announced, and I think it's going to go on to get even bigger partners. If you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video so it gets around, gets shared with everyone. And that's all really I wanted to cover off in this video. Make sure you continue to stick around, pay attention, and I'll see you in my next video.